I think it helps to have a support network, like people that's actually gonna help you do that better. You know what I'm saying? If you got 5 friends and all 5 of your friends want you to go out and stay out and over, you need to make some readjustments. You know what I'm saying? You need people that's gonna cater to what it is you're doing, and then some people, you know what I'm saying, need you to communicate that. Yeah. Sometimes we got friends that we ain't told what we really trying to do, how we really trying to grow. And I'm gonna call y'all out on that. You know what I'm saying? If you got people that you know that's with you, but they have habits that aren't of like mind, then it might be your job to bring awareness to them.
Don't settle for a thing. This message for the royal blooded who feel they supreme. I'm about that action. Watch me do it. Set a goal and I attack it. Watch me do it. Grind and I make it happen. Watch me do it. If I want it, I can have it. Man, watch me do it. You can watch me do it. Watch me do it. Man, you can watch me do it. Watch me do it.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening, man? Another episode of Create the Culture.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Shouts out. Well, I ain't gonna shout out loud. Y'all ain't paying it. But the orange is fire though.
It is.
Shout out my dog DJ P Smooth. He's in the building, man.
Yeah, what's poppin'?
Of course, you know, man. Rocking the Broken Boys clothing, man. Shout out my guy Ant, man. Skywalker's in the building.
What it do?
Bro, what is them? Them Balenciagas for real?
Yeah, these Balenciagas.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Balenciaga stepping.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to do better today. You know what I'm saying?
No, you clear. You
I try to do a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shouts out to you ain't cut the check.
Cut the check now.
Hey, listen here, man. Speaking of cutting the check, we talking entrepreneurship, man, and it costs money to be in the game. I know people hear us talk about graphic design. You barbering now. We ain't even shouted that out, man. You barbering now.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff sometimes coincides with what we do, but a lot of times it don't. But we have to do it, you know what I'm saying, so that the entrepreneur side of us still can maintain. So I do want to talk entrepreneurship, not necessarily versus side hustle, because they kind of work together.
Right. Yeah.
But I do want to talk through some of those natural stresses that we might have, you know what I'm saying, just trying to keep money. Right. At the same time, going after the dreams, and how it's important to be, you know, stable in the mind through that process. Yeah. And just being real about what it is that we deal with, man. So how's that journey been? Of course, for you, let's start with Skywalker today.
Okay.
Let's start with Skywalker today. How's that journey been for you? And talk about, you know, what got you into barbering. I know it's some passion, but let's just be real about the extra funds that may have been needed with that.
For sure. Yeah, so, you know, I went full-time entrepreneurship back in 2019. I got laid off from my corporate America job.
Yep, you was getting that money on, too.
I was getting that bread. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you was getting that money on.
You know, I had a good conversation with my mother, and she basically was on some stuff like, you know, maybe this is God showing you that it's time to take your side hustle and make it your full time. And that's when I went into full-time management. And now I'm officially barbering. Right. But I've been cutting hair, you know, really since college, you know, because I was broke and couldn't even pay for a haircut. You know, haircuts ain't cheap no more. Yeah. But the barbering side of things it's still entrepreneurship, and it's something that I wanted to do. Like I don't plan on going back to quote unquote regular corporate America. Right. And so I always wanted to do something that still gave me that entrepreneur feel of having, you know, the flexibility of your schedule and different things like that. Right. And I said, well, what better for me than anything that let me just hop in the barber, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's been good. It's had its highs and lows, as anything would.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I want you to talk more about how scary it was to make that decision, because I know we got listeners out there that's in corporate America. They already making money, but they hard and they good telling them, that they need to make that
need it.
transition. And when you comfortable making that money, believe me,
Yeah.
I know it's scary, but
Yeah.
I just want you to talk about how real that got for you.
So
You know
it
what I'm
was
saying?
real scary for a minute. I got down on my money for a minute, you know.
Yep.
What they say, lost it all, you know, but a real hustler know how to get it back. You
Yep.
know
Got
what I
it
mean?
back.
So sometimes you got to learn, you know, when you make those jumps and you take that leap of faith to go after whatever you're trying to do, just having a plan and being prepared for these different things, which you're not going to be ready for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But definitely I fell low on my money, but I kept at it. I kept at the dream. I kept getting better with my cuts. My management was going crazy, so I started making, you know, more money on the management side that could help fund a lot of different things. And then through my relationships from managing, I was able to get a few investors to help put money into my shop. You know, when I wanted to put my shop together, all of that type of stuff. So I mean, it's scary at first. But if it's something you want, you got to go get it. And y'all know my motto. You know, you eat what you kill. That's one thing I love about entrepreneurship. You eat what you kill, and if you ain't killing shit, you ain't eating. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, I just want to say, man, kudos on you for opening up your own shop,
Appreciate
man.
it,
It's
bro.
crazy. Fresh out of barber school,
Bro,
man.
nuts.
That's crazy.
Faded.
Yeah.
Faded, Faded.
It's crazy.
That's the brand y'all be looking out for.
Come on now.
Faded,
Yeah, man. I guess with me in similar situation, I was working at AT&T, making the most money I've ever made at that point in my life, and you know, I got fired. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I got fired.
Keep it real.
Man, I was you know, just I really got fired for tardiness, and it was my fault for putting myself in that situation, but that situation allowed me to fully focus in on DJing, and I was DJing full time, getting my, you know, another side hustle I had was doing graphic design, and that kind of, you know, helped out a little bit until I started kind of getting low on my funds, and I always bounce back and forth from, you know, being a full-time entrepreneur to getting a job, because I just know I can always get a job, you know what I'm saying? And I use jobs as a tool to invest into what I need to do into my entrepreneurship. So I used to think, excuse me, I used to think of that sometimes as a failure. And I just want to let y'all know, like, I had a real deal conversation with myself, like, man, just because you got to do what you got to do to make it to where you feel yourself being successful at, sometimes you got to do what other people may not have to do, but that don't necessarily mean it's a failure. You know what I'm saying? So to those that think, you know, I see all the posts about 9 to 5s being, you know what I'm saying, kind of like not like undesirable in this time of day. Man, if it's a bag that you feel like you missing out on, and you know you can get a bag from here, like go get that mug. Like
I don't feel like we don't give people like that enough credit.
No.
Because you can definitely use your 9 to 5 as a tool. Like it can be a tool to catapult you into your career. It might fund it. You do have to be intentional with it. I will tell you, don't get into the motions.
Yeah, don't get lost into it.
And you just, you know, you comfortable.
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time. You got to be okay. Well, got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't think we give enough credit to people that work. Bro, like,
No,
get a
for
job.
real.
Get a
Like,
job.
Yeah.
You're not making no money.
Don't be a bum.
Get a job.
Yeah, don't be a bum.
Don't be a bum.
And don't, like, you can be what we, you know, quote unquote a dreamer, you know what I'm saying, but without no action, it's
Listen.
it's just dreams, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of these people y'all see on TV, or not even just TV, that's making this big money. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all of these big names that have all this bread. Y'all gotta understand, these people started off with regular stuff, regular jobs, a dream, things like that. And so it's definitely okay to have that 9 to 5 to fund, you know, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I think people let it fly over their head when they say life is what you make it. Like, we get too stuck into these status roles and, like, you know, what they say, you know, if you work at McDonald's, dude, if McDonald's pay the same thing it's your corporate job work. Y'all both in the same boat.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy. It's crazy. It's the look. It's the ego, man. Do not let that cloud your judgment.
Don't let that cloud your judgment.
Like I always say, like my rule of thumb with this last job that I had was if it started to interfere with what I'm like what I'm trying to do with my life,
right?
As far as my DJing career and just being in this industry, then I was gonna drop it. And that's essentially what ended up happening, and that's gonna tie into like my next question to y'all. Like, how do y'all manage entrepreneurship with like just within y'all times? Because y'all got other stuff going on. Like, you got kids, you know what I'm saying? You do other stuff around the same thing, but you time management and entrepreneurship. Like, how do y'all handle that?
Yeah, I think it's big for you to start with the kids because I'm over here trying to take notes before I even think about getting started.
Right, man.
In that world,
man. So time management definitely is a big factor, especially being an entrepreneur, because y'all know as an entrepreneur, you work 24/7.
Yep.
It's not clock in at 9 o'clock and clock out at 5.
Yep.
And so having a schedule, a plan throughout the day, like whenever somebody wants to have a meeting with me, or if I got clients to cut hair on or whatever, my day is planned out, and very seldom do I deviate from the plan, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I really don't let people get me off course from what I have planned for that day, unless it's some extravagant opportunity or, maybe an emergency, a family, something, happened in the family. Okay, cool. But for the most part, I'm on a set schedule. I take my kids to school every day. I pick them up every day. I can't really move away from that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's very important, even without kids, as an entrepreneur, having a schedule, because you can get caught up being everywhere, because it's no plan. Nothing's on paper, nothing. Well, maybe not paper, but on your phone, whatever. Like, know what you're gonna do that day, the next day, the week, the month.
Right.
So, like me and P Smooth, we share a Google Calendar. I know what he got going on. I got my stuff on the same calendar.
Yep. And for me, I'm gonna say the best thing that I could have learned, I think it came from Jay-Z, where he said that I don't have a business, I am a business.
Yeah.
You got to buy into that concept because you already know how businesses work. I mean, you got to be at work at a certain time.
Yep.
You got to leave at a certain time, and there's a certain amount of things that have to get done before you're able to leave. If you don't operate your life like that, you're gonna find difficulties in being consistent and just growing. For me personally, outside of that, prioritizing my sleep has been the best thing in the world for me. I mean, and that's when I'm locked in. I'm not finna be a hypocrite on this podcast and act like I just be locked in every day. I don't. But when I am locked in, that's what it is. It's prioritizing that sleep. I know I'm gonna go to sleep at this time. No ifs, ands, buts about it. My phone going off. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm going to sleep. TV off. I'm going to sleep, and then I'm going to wake up at a certain time. And when I wake up at that time, it's going to allow me to be able to use time that I normally would have been asleep for something else. And that really goes to my people that are full-time workers, part-time workers, but you still got this urge to party. I'm not just going to sit here and tell you to sit in the house and be bored. Like, I feel like all of it can coexist at one time, but you have to hold yourself accountable with your time management. If you're spending too much time in the club and then you coming in and then you partying and you don't get no sleep. And now you sleeping the whole day away. And when you wake up, you got to take your shower and go to work and deal with kids. And you still got time you owe to your kids if you got kids. You know what I'm saying? You still got time you owe to your spouse. If you got a girlfriend, a boyfriend, these people need energy. And you're going to need it too. And so I feel like if you hitting the deadbolt and you don't know why you ain't got no time, a lot of times it's surrounded around sleep schedule. I mean, you need to start going to bed sooner and later. And I think it's a matter of how bad you really want this entrepreneur thing. I think a lot of people say they want to be in entrepreneurship because it sounds cool. Like, if you don't really want it, there's a lot of things you're not going to be willing to sacrifice to do this.
You're not going to get the freedom that you think that, you know what I'm saying? If you leaving from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship,
You
you're really working double.
Yeah, you working more.
Right, right, and like I said, and with that, I think it goes back to kind of what we was discussing, in previous episodes. I think it helps to have a support network, like people that's actually gonna help you do that better. You know what I'm saying? If you got 5 friends and all 5 of your friends want you to go out and stay out and over, you need to make some readjustments. You know what I'm saying? You need people that's going to cater to what it is you're doing. And then some people, you know what I'm saying, need you to communicate that. Yeah. Sometimes we got friends that we ain't told what we really trying to do, how we really trying to grow. And I'm going to call y'all out on that. You know what I'm saying? If you got people that you know that's with you, but they have habits that aren't of like mind, then it might be your job to bring awareness to them about something. There's been times where I found myself finding something or being enlightened to something. I'm going to drop it in the group. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's a new green drink. I don't care if it's a new prayer meditation. Shout out to Demetria, because our sister Demetria, bro, she big on that. You know what I'm saying? She drops a new, y'all better check your chakras. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, they right. But if she doesn't do that, you know what I'm saying? The message might not be for me one day. It might not be for Skywalker the next day, but it's for somebody. Yeah. So it's very pivotal for you to not always just point the finger. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a call of action for you. Yeah. Your circle might be the circle that you need. Yeah. It may not be there yet, but it might be your job to get the ball rolling. No, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I like that, and of course, I would love to talk to y'all about how impactful the support network has been. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the first to admit I am not consistent. Yeah, like I'm trying to be more consistent, but when we are each doing things, and Peace will come in here and tell us that he lost 10 pounds, guess who hit the gym next week? Right. Done deal.
That's really one thing I wanted to mention in a previous episode, but it's perfect here, is the fact that our circle. You were saying we had a segment about competition and community. Yeah. And within our community, we have competition amongst ourselves because, for me,
healthy competition.
It's like, it's healthy. It's like, okay, if Walker doing this, I tell Walker all the time, like, bro, you got kids, you got this. Like, I don't have half the responsibilities that you have, but you still find the time to do what you got to do, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. How can I, better myself with my time management? If I see Christian turning up on social media, I'm like, okay, I gotta turn up on social media because at the end of the day, like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be the weakest link. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? All the sayings go hand in hand with what we talking about right now. Like, if I don't want to be left behind, bro, and that's like that's self-motivating, but it's also y'all motivated me without even having to say words. You know what I'm saying? But when those words do come, that's where, that also helps as well for me.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. The biggest thing, like you was talking about earlier, having that supporting cast, me personally, I wouldn't be able to do half of the things that I've done and that I'm currently doing without my supporting cast outside of our core group, on the entrepreneur stuff. But like, my mom, my kids' mothers, my friends and stuff like that, to step in when I have to travel or when I have to do certain things or be here, at the pod, like knowing that my kids are taken care of and all of these type of things. I don't have to worry about home. I don't have to worry about this, that, and the third. Even watching my dogs when I'm on the road, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's those little things that you definitely will need in this entrepreneur world. Is to have a supporting cast, you know what I mean? And obviously our core group that we have, we support each other in this, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we can't forget about
the other stuff that we need.
Behind the scenes.
Nah, you're right. I'm glad you brought that up.
Everybody see us. Yeah. But people don't know my moms. People don't know who keeping my kids when I got to do this type of stuff. Who making sure my house is taken care of when I'm in New York for a whole 7-8 days, or You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody, mama. I love
shout
I love
out-
both of
shout out
y'all.
to
Y'all
moms,
niggas
for
mamas,
real.
man.
I ain't even gonna get started, bro. I love all our mamas.
man,
Yeah,
facts.
Like
Facts.
from the jerk chicken
yeah,
to the turning up.
yeah. My mom, hey, shout out Mama Smooth,
Mama
man.
Smooth gonna turn up every
Man, Mama Smooth is the first person in the comments. All right, I'm
Yeah.
just
Every
saying
time.
now.
Every
I know
time.
that already, and we ain't even dropped the episode.
Soon as it posts.
Yeah, she the one that keep asking me, when y'all dropping the next one? I'm like,
Yeah, we got you, Mama. Shout out Mama Smooth.
Yeah.
Man, but no, I'm glad you talked about that because, like you said, it's going to be communities within communities.
Yes.
And I do feel like a lot of times people get stuck in their own head. You know, I fool my crew, that's my crew, my crew only. It's like, nah, bro, you're not helping your crew that way.
Right.
I need Skywalker to go out and connect with other managers and go and talk to other people and be in other rooms because that's going to strengthen him. And it's also going to strengthen his network, which entails strengthens my network because what's attached to him is attached to me.
Facts.
So if I don't go out here and go network with other radio personalities and other hosts and other DJs, what am I doing? Right. What am I bringing to the table? I've had the same discussion with P Smooth. It's like, yeah, bro, go holler at everybody. Yeah, go work with everybody because we need a community because it ain't competition.
It ain't.
because
It's a community.
we know,
Like, we all got the same assignment.
Yeah.
And it's to move the needle, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. Before we wrap up the show, I want to talk about the reward of it, though.
Man.
The reward of being an entrepreneur, because I think sometimes that will help motivate somebody who might be stressed in that side hustle phase where it's like, dude, I'm just trying to make ends meet, but I really got a passion to do this, but this ain't paying nothing. To be reminded of the reward. And I want to talk about the rewards outside of money because we always talk about, well, you get money and you gonna be paid.
Right.
And it's like, bro, that is not where the happiness comes from and stuff. And I want y'all to kind of talk about what the reward is, what it has been for you personally.
I mean, you know, we all kind of have a hard time with celebrating and acknowledging our accomplishments along the journey. And, you know, so being a little bit more aware, just being able to look back on, you know, the past and look at where you are now, it's like, it's a huge difference. Like, that always gets me, like that's a huge reward for me. Like, because I understand, like, you know, my dad was a DJ, and I took it way further than he did. And it's like, that itself just makes me like, dang, like, you know, I'm happy that I'm able to take something that I saw growing up and, you know, going past what I saw growing up. You know, without having really the vision. But yeah, that's always rewarding to me.
So for me, the reward of entrepreneurship, man, is so fulfilling outside of the money. You know what I mean? Money gonna come and go.
Yep.
And the money that you make as an entrepreneur, 90% of the time, you probably putting it back into whatever you're doing. So it ain't like you just. I mean, we making money, but you know, you putting it back into money yourself to make you bigger. But the reward of, you know, taking a dream, you know, a passion, and realizing that you really busted your ass to make this happen, regardless if you make $1 million from it or $100 from it. It happened, and you successfully made it happen with you, your team, whoever was involved. You took a small dream and turned it into something. And so that is a feeling that you really can't describe. Like, but putting in that work, you know, like in high school, like, you won a state championship. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had that feeling, but I could imagine what it's like busting your butt all season. You know, in and out of games, you got to keep your grades up. You got to do all of the extra practices and all of that, and then that one goal comes to fruition. You know what I mean? And like you said, we don't sit down, especially as entrepreneurs, to really reflect and celebrate and enjoy some of the accomplishments that we have made. You know what I mean? I was just the other day talking to P about the very first haircut, when he let me cut his hair, I still got that picture, and it was trash.
Yeah.
As opposed to now, it's
COVID cuts.
And it's like, dang, I really done came a long way with this haircut and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And even to the music side of things, you know, I had my first artist, Rampage Wood and Fat Boy Yo, and now I'm going to Rolling Louds and all of this type of stuff. It's just crazy to see. Even to you, man, when I first linked with y'all and you got y'all first gig at the radio station, wasn't making no bread. It was a dream.
It was a dream.
You was ready to be in the room. You was doing anything you could do to be in the room and get your voice heard on this radio. And now you got the #1 show in the state.
That's crazy.
You know, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it didn't happen overnight. We talking about 4 years.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It go by fast, but
and
you look back, you be like,
and it's like,
when your head down and you just trying to get to it.
Yeah.
Brother, you don't see nothing happening.
But that's a joy that.
It's undescribable.
Man.
It's undescribable to look back and
reflect.
No, to reflect about. And I don't think we do that enough. Even ourselves, I don't think we reflect enough because we just trying to get to the next
next level. Yeah.
But there's definitely a huge reward in looking back and going, bro, I told myself I was gonna do something, and then now it's a thing. Right. I always laugh about the name itself, Christian the Comedian. When it was first created, my brother was just simply like, who your favorite comedian? And I'm like, Cedric the Entertainer. He was like, bet. Call yourself Christian the Comedian. And it was just like, it wasn't nothing
like that.
Yeah. It was just that. And we in the living room and I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna make everybody call me that. Yeah. Now I can't get nobody to call me nothing else.
But I was just talking about this. But my name, like, people really know Peace Move more than they know Philip. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nobody know my real name. Like,
I'm gonna say that. Now it's gonna be a thing. Yeah. Now everybody's gonna go search for your real name.
Hey, but if you join the Patreon, you'll get
for real, man. No, for real. But I do also want to add another reward, man. Actually, two. I'm gonna say the reward of creative freedom. I've been in a lot of situations, especially with graphic design and just being a dreamer and a visionary, where I've tried to give my creative expression in a format and it be denied. In entrepreneurship, like when you really in your own entrepreneurship, you have the ability to have creative freedom, and for creatives out there, that's a feeling that you can't describe. It's amazing to be like, I can tell you how I see it in my head and make it happen, and then to know that it happened, it's like, oh, that's a feeling that's like, oh yeah, because it feels like you're in sync with the world,
right?
Yeah,
like you're in sync, and you're in your calling,
right?
And so that feels very good. And two, I gotta bring this one. It's the effect on the next generation.
Boy,
like your work's effect on the next generation. Yes. Like I think about when I was a little kid and those moments where I may have seen Kirk Franklin on stage and him call me up and I dance, and it's like what that did for the radio star they know today.
Right.
Like that little moment. And it's like to be able now to go into these schools and go into these organizations and talk to these kids, and they go, oh my God, you're the voice from the radio station, or you're the DJ from the podcast and the show, and it's just like, bro, I'm so glad that I went and I chose this route, because who knows whose life I could change if all I was doing was just working that 9 to 5 and letting it work me. So that's a huge reward for me. I know Skywalker got a Balenciagas on. We probably short on time. Are we good? Do we need to close out? He probably got to catch a flight.
Yeah, I mean, we got a few minutes.
We got a few minutes. Well, I want to talk. Let's talk Room 1024, man. Where's the inspiration, man? Let's talk Room 1024.
Man,
what you got going with the YouTube?
Okay, Room 1024, man. So 1024 is a very important number to me and my circle, man. Yeah. So we had an event center just called 1024.
Yep.
It was on 1024 Van Ronkel Street in Conway. And you know, I spent everything I had in my savings, you know, spent, you know what I'm saying, and spent countless nights.
I just
you
paid
know,
out my Best Buy credit card from that.
like it's crazy. Like we really took a lot of risk, and you know, that inside that building is what helped me rebrand and counterpult me to the DJ I am today.
Right.
So I wanted to have a platform to showcase DJs kind of that I fool with, mainly based out of Arkansas, but I fool with a lot of different talented DJs from different areas of the states and in the world. And I just want to, you know, a platform to showcase everybody's talents.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So what is it? Like, what is it?
So it's pretty much gonna be a YouTube series where you just vibe out. Like it might be a house party, it might be a single DJ, you know, just chilling in.
But we get to watch you live DJ.
Yeah, you get to see live DJs
That's fire.
On YouTube, just doing some crazy mixes and mashups, and
I like
just they vibe. You know what I'm saying?
I like that, man.
Yeah.
And the barbershop, they can book with you.
Man, you can book me through the Cut app.
They might fly you out.
Faded by Skywalker. Y'all can follow my IG. You know,
yes, sir.
See the vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But yeah. Nah.
Tap in, man. Tap in. They gonna fly Walker out.
Yeah.
He got Balenciagas on.
They
They definitely want to cut by that man. Listen here, man. All the supporters out there, we want to say thank y'all. Please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Let us know what you want to hear. Keep vibing out with us, man. Keep getting better and keep growing with us. We want to grow with you too. It is Create the Culture Podcast on IG, so be sure to tap into that to get all your updates, man. As we said, as always, thank you, and we can't wait to see you next week. All right, we out.